The big news, the big news today, sorry about the cough, is, of course, the huge controversy over Donald Trump and his reported attitude toward those who have served in the military. The Atlantic yesterday published an article that stated some things that were already known about Trump regarding John McCain, and he disparaged John McCain's war service. But it also elaborates on his attitude towards service members in general. That they're basically they're inferiors to somebody like him. They're just the hired help. They're not really, human beings. They're basically not human. And he also had asked that wounded veterans be kept out of military parades, because evidently the reality of war bothers a guy like this, or he can't stand to be around people who are disabled. I mean, who knows? But anyway, it's pretty devastating. It's not a very long article. It's actually pretty short. But it quotes sources, unnamed, and even, I think, a couple of named sources. Or makes the inference of the names of those sources. But like they said, the author says there was no precedent in American politics for the expression of this sort of contempt. But the performatively patriotic Trump did no damage to his candidacy by attacking McCain in this manner. Nor did he set his campaign back by attacking the parents of Humayun Khan, and I'm sorry if I mangled the name. I'm sorry. But the Army captain who was killed in Iraq in 2004. And of course he hated McCain because McCain stood up to him. And a person that's narcissistic like Trump can't stand for criticism. But even more outrageous or crazy is the idea or the claim, and it's apparently it's not surprising if it's true, that Donald Trump and his first wife Ivana had threatened to disinherit their son Donald Jr. when Donald Jr. expressed interest in enlisting in the military. They threatened to disinherit him. That's how much Donald Trump supposedly hates the military. And of course he's denied it. He gave an interview last night, and he angrily denied the Atlantic story. And I'll put the link to a video clip of it. However, Mary Trump, who was featured on Rachel Maddow's program, but her remarks didn't make the error. Previously, anyway, she talked about how had confirmed about what had happened with the threat of disinheriting Donald Jr. if he decided to enlist in the military. So I'll put that link in there too. But as bad as all this is, and if this were a Democrat who had the contempt of the military like Donald Trump has, that Democrat would be toast. That Democrat would lose all 50 states, maybe even the District of Columbia. I mean, look what happened to John Kerry in 2004. He was a war hero, but he opposed the Vietnam War. He was one of those involved in Vietnam veterans against the war. And what happened? He got trashed. He was slandered all over the place. Slandered and libeled. Swift-boated is what they called it. Trying to make him look like he was a traitor to his country. And it was just a horrible smear. But this guy, this Trump, who has nothing but contempt for the military, and I have no doubt these stories are true, because I do remember the way he trashed John McCain. That's no secret. That's well known. But somehow people make excuses for him. So I don't think, my personal opinion is, I think that the Trump supporters are so far down the rabbit hole, they've been brainwashed by Fox News. They've been brainwashed by, and it is brainwashing ever since the repeal of the Fairness Doctrine by the Reagan administration in 1987. It allowed for all this nonstop brainwashing propaganda with nothing to counter it. They're so far gone with that. They're so far gone with Fox News, hate radio, and of course now the internet, because internet, you could just go wherever you want to go. It's not out there. You can pick and choose whatever information you want to get, and there's a lot of bad information out there. But they're so far down that rabbit hole that I think that if Trump told them to jump off a cliff, they would do it. If Trump were Jim Jones and ordered everybody to drink the Kool-Aid, I think they'd do it. I think all the Trump voters would do it. They're that far gone. It's hard to understand a mindset of somebody that votes for Trump and is incapable of changing his or her mind. They are the way that not only they're brainwashing by right-wing media sources, it's also they have upbringing. These people were brought up to be racist, sexist, xenophobic, and to reject that. It's basically rejecting everything they were brought up with, and it's telling them that their parents lied to them, their friends lied to them, that it was all a pack of lies, and they just can't handle it. So I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think this is going to make one bit of difference in whether in Trump's core support. A few people that might be undecided, yeah, they might go and vote Biden and Harris, or even third party, or sit out the election. But the core Trump supporters, even if Trump killed somebody on camera, they're going to support him no matter what. They're lost.